Just one looking at you open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my side. Just one looking at you open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my side.
Hold out your hand, yeah. Every day you're with me when I think I can't stand, yeah. You got big things coming, part of your plan, yeah. Step up in your love, I say you're the one I want. The love that you were giving is salvation. You will keep me moving if I'm patient. I just wanna get right to the racing. You love me so I could have be complacent. Not afraid of the battles I've been facing. Nothing that you do is ever wasted. And you got the fire like I'm blazing. Cause I'm just tryna copy when I'm pasting.
Just one looking at you open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my side. Just one looking at you open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my side.
Big man thing, what do I say? Them can never love you my way. You go low, then you go high. You go near, then you go far. You go calling round and round and round, round and round. But you're falling down and down and down. You just wanna go the distance. Promise you I'm what you're missing. Promise you my life, promise you my time, promise you no lie, yeah. Carry go, I'm on me more to carry low, oh yeah, yeah. Oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na.
Just one looking at you open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my side. Just one looking at you open up my eyes, and I'll stay with you forever all the time. And I'm stepping out to leave it all behind. I'm confident your love will be my side.
Walked in darkness, my home was the night. Then you came into my life, showed me brilliant light. Cause you radiate, you fill my heart again. The grace that never ends. I know that you with me, take me to a new horizon. I've never known a joy so vibrant. Your love is where I found my life in. And you glow in my heart. You glow in my heart. You glow in my heart. You glow in my heart.
Ever since I've known your love, you turned my life around. Ever since I saw your heart,
My feet can't touch the ground. Cause you radiate, you fill my heart again. The grace that never ends. I know that you with me, take me to a new horizon. I've never known a joy so vibrant. Your love is where I found my life in. And you glow in my heart. Cause you radiate, you fill my heart again. The grace that never ends. And you glow in my heart. And you glow in my heart.
After eating, Lord knows how many creamsicles, I've come to the conclusion that they are halfway to semi-decent. You guys want to play Frisbee now? After, I think that was 8 creamsicles. I don't think they're that good, but I better have another just to make sure.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Youth Group Live again. It's June now. We're about to get a heat wave coming, so I thought the countdown with the summer crashes there would be fun. And then I don't really know what that was with Miles at the end, but thanks, Miles. That was funny. Whatever that was. Glad to see you having some fun. So, welcome. Glad to have you again this week. We're going to jump right into it. We have 2 weeks left, this week and next week, of our kind of current format before we switch things up for the summer, take a break. And so we've really been excited for you guys to join us. And we've been going through this series called Faith in an Anxious World. So we're going to continue that tonight as the world becomes even more anxious. Lots going on. But we also have a senior hot seat, and we're going to do a little fun, quick trivia game, kind of honoring the seniors, going back to the year they were born, some trivia from then. So we'll see how well they can do on that. So let's jump into it. We're going to go right into the senior hot seat this week. This week, the girls joined us, all the senior ladies at once. And some kudos need to go out. They did a better job with it than our contestant last week. So cool for them to power through it. Although at the same time, some kudos need to be given to Ben, as you'll see in the video, for how hardcore he went on the hot sauces last week. So kudos to Ben, kudos to the ladies. It was a good chat with them, so let's check it out. Senior hot seat, ladies are up.
Oh, okay.
If one of you is like crying and wiping your tears, I'll have somebody else go.
I hope not.
I will not be crying, so
I will be.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right, well, welcome to week 3 of the senior hot seat. We have the brave senior girls. I picked on them last week, said they were chickening out, but I was joking. They are here and ready, and one said no crying today, and the others maybe are up for it. So, welcome. What'd you guys bring for food?
I have Chick-fil-A nuggets.
Nice.
Freezer chicken nuggets.
Beautiful.
mozzarella sticks.
Hey, that's a new entry. I like it. So, we have our 6 sauces. And before we get into the first question, we got to do the first sauce. And listen, I know you guys want to just like barely touch it, so you have like almost no hot sauce on your thing, but come on, you got to do a good dunk. All right. All right. First hot sauce. Let's go. Lovely. Bryn, you should have got like the spicy chicken and make it
Oh
worse.
no.
Okay. Well, first question.
not bad.
Would you introduce yourselves? Tell us where you're graduating from, how long you've been with us. Cara, why don't you go ahead?
So I've been in youth group since 6th grade. I'm graduating from Nashua High School South, and I'm going to Liberty University next fall.
Bryn.
I'm Bryn.
Liberty Flames, baby! Yeah!
This is on video. Ignore that.
He's gonna-
I was not expecting
He needs to
that.
come back and try the hottest
Can
one
we
later.
edit that out? Okay. I'm Bryn. I'm graduating from Concord Christian Academy. I've been in youth group since the beginning, so 6th grade, and I'm going to LeTourneau University in the fall for aviation.
Cool. I like how you said that, since the beginning.
The beginning of Sean.
All right, Anna, you're last.
I'm Anna, and I am also graduating from Nashua High School South, and I have been in youth group since 7th grade, and I'm going to Gordon College.
Cool. Well, congrats, you guys. Excited for you this fall and your experience there. All right, we're on to question 2, which means sauce number 2. The Yellowbird Habanero, one of my favorites. I'm watching you to make sure. Bryn got a good amount last time. I'm keeping my eyes on Cara here.
This one blends in with the chicken nugget, so you can't really see it, but I have it.
Yeah, same. I have a good dose here.
Okay.
All right, question 2. What is your favorite youth group memory? Just kind of like a one single moment that happened, and to this day you just love it, you laugh about it, maybe cry about it, I don't know. Anna, why don't you go first?
Okay, there were a lot, so it was difficult to choose, but one iServe, I don't remember how many years ago, there was a little fruit fly type thing that died, and we named it Sir Chauncey Chadwick Asterborough and had a funeral for it, and we had flowers, and Abigail gave a speech, and we got strangers to come and cry at it, so it was a very touching moment.
Was this like another group that was also on site that came?
Yeah, like it was another church, and they just came.
Oh man, there's a lot of ridiculous memories at iServe. That's pretty funny. All right, Bryn.
I'm probably gonna have to say, like, always our summer kickoff, because it's always different and it has some of the same traditions each year, like the leaders beating you with socks full of flour, or having campfires, or water balloon fights, and then like the Ides pool party. Like, just the whole summer kickoff is really fun.
Yeah. And we a number of years back had to go away from the flour after someone with celiac had a nice reaction to it.
Yep.
we now use allergy-free powders. All right, Cara, you're up.
So I don't know if this is technically through youth group, but a lot of people from youth group went the Puerto Rico missions trip. I feel like that was just like very eye-opening, especially helping Erica, like in my group. That was really cool.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, we've had lots of fun times together, for sure. Okay. Thanks. Question 3, hot sauce 3. We're now into the land of ghost pepper.
Oh no.
Anna's like going off camera, so we don't
I know,
can't
it's
tell
like-
if she's actually.
I don't want to drop it because I'm using a fork.
I'm going in for more. Do a second bite, Cara. Come on.
No,
Get 2.
I'm finishing off the mozzarella stick without sauce to help.
All right, number 3 is what are the best and worst youth events you ever attended? And you can really lay it on me with the worst one if you want. Bryn, why don't you go?
So let's start with the worst. It wasn't like really terrible, it was just kind of boring, and we actually helped plan it, so that was the bad part. Emily mentioned I helped Sean plan some of the games one year, and we thought that throwing toilet paper across the sanctuary would be fun, but it got boring after about 10 seconds. So that was probably the worst, which isn't really that bad, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best one, I don't know, there's been a lot of good things, but I would say definitely hunting the youth leaders in the mall, even though we got kicked out, but that was always fun when they were disguised early on and we had to go find them around the mall.
Yeah, that's some good memories. Me shaving my beard off, getting kicked out of the mall because Pastor Steve was being too creepy.
Yep.
The toilet paper thing was funny because like we watched a video of another youth group doing that and it totally worked and looked fun, and then didn't work at all when we tried it. Oh well. All right, Anna, best and worst.
The best, I always enjoy like the longer things like Berea and iServe and mission trips, but I don't know a specific one beyond that. And the worst one, there was like a hot second where we weren't allowed to do grog, and we had like a whole church games, and I don't remember what exactly we did, but it was not grog, and it was just a disappointing time. But also this right now might be my least favorite.
Starting to feel it.
Yeah.
That last one was just pure spice, no flavor.
There was a time I don't remember the details, but maybe it was like on the mission trip we did like in Nashua, and we were staying at the church, and you guys really wanted to play grog, but you were all giving me attitude, so I got grumpy back and was like, "No grog. We're not allowed to play grog." I don't know. Could have been that one. All right, question 4, hot sauce number 4, more ghost pepper.
Oh,
This one is tasty too, but it's not.
Is there?
See you, Cara. Was it on there? Yeah, Ben really like went for it last week, so I don't know.
Ooh. I was
Might
like
have been
good at first,
harvest.
and then it was like spice.
Mine and Ben's downfall last week might have been that we were like downing it. Okay, Anna, you're off the hook with this one, but I didn't have time to get one for you. I need you guys to react to these.
Oh no.
Cara, you're up first.
Wait, whoa. Where'd you get that? Dad, did you send that in?
Tell us what is happening here. There's so much going on.
I don't even did you send a picture of that in? Me in like my Terry Twist, like opening my piggy bank?
Is that what that is? I wondered what it was. A piggy bank?
Yeah, I
It's like
was trying to, I couldn't get my money out of the piggy bank. So I was trying to unscrew it to get it.
That's quite the piggy bank. Like the dolls on top of the pig. And then we got
I know, I
the
don't even.
Fritos and the robe. I mean, this is just a wonderful
Classic.
photo.
Classic Cara with those Fritos.
Yes, always Fritos. I'm still shocked. Like I did not remember that till now, and I don't get how you got that picture.
Good stuff. All right, Bryn,
Oh no.
react to this one.
Oh my. Yeah, that's in my basement. Our parents told us to make funny faces while we're taking like pictures at the beach. Yeah. Yeah. No.
How
We should do
often
like a
do you?
recreation of that.
Yeah, you should. I was going to say, how often do you and Jack still look like this in real life?
Yikes.
Pretty funny. Cara's mad at her parents.
No, I'm just,
And I forgot to, because you jumped in late, so I forgot to search for one for you. And
I could give you
your
some
parents
funny
in this,
pictures of Anna.
you lucked out, Anna. Maybe I'll find one before tonight and just throw it up. All right, how's it feeling?
Hurts.
The last one was a little bit bad, but it's okay.
I'm starting to feel it, but I also think I'm doing more sauce than you guys. So just saying, you guys are gotta load up. All right, question 5, hot sauce 5. This is that like fruity one that's like tricks you and it wants to taste good and then it hits you.
Aw.
Yeah, it's not as bad when you don't put the whole thing in, like me and Ben. Question 5. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, no, 5. What's one way God has worked in your life over the years in youth group? Just some way you've grown and something God's taught you. Cara, why don't you go ahead?
I feel like he's caused me to be more of like a leader, just in general.
All right. Bryn?
The last one. I would say, let's see, definitely trusting him more in like uncertainty, like not even counting this year, but like all the years past in youth group, like changing schools a ton of times. That was difficult, but I guess youth group and my group of friends really helped with that. And then second part I came up with was like a piece of advice for people who are still going to be in youth group is like definitely lean into your leader's wisdom because you can learn a lot from them. And yeah.
Cool, thanks. Anna?
Okay, my mouth hurts. I think just kind of learning to like own my faith and make it my own. My tongue hurts. It tastes bad too. Hang on.
You got this.
Yeah. So just like that, and making it more important in my life, I guess.
Cool. Good stuff. Glad to hear that. All right. Last one. Here's the deal. It's the last one. Like, let's really go for it here. Come on. Pour it on. Get it good. I'm like,
Oh gosh, this one has seeds in it. That's just
no,
mean.
it's garlic. It's garlic.
Okay.
It's not seeds.
Grow up.
All right, last question. How much are you gonna miss me? Joking. What are you most looking forward to in your next stage of life, post high school? Who's ready?
I'll answer the Sean one. I will miss Sean a lot, but I will not miss how he scares me all the time and I like freak out. That part I
Man.
will be looking forward to.
I don't know if it's all the time, but I've definitely gotten you a few good times. So one was on accident, and that might have been the worst one.
Yeah. What the second question is? Wait, what was the second question?
What are you most looking forward to in your next stage of life?
I guess being on my own and flying airplanes, because that'll be really fun and be like something I actually want to do, not just sit around in a classroom, like actually be up and flying.
Yeah. Cool. Anna, go ahead.
I will miss you a lot. I'll be sure to visit.
Thanks.
But I'm looking forward to like meeting new people and being part of a new community and like learning and growing out in the world more.
Cool. Kara.
I'm most looking forward to probably the spike ball tournaments at Liberty. No, just kidding.
Fair.
Probably just like meeting new people and even like growing stronger, like in my faith at Liberty and stuff.
Yeah. Thanks.
It was like my tongue is on fire.
Yeah. It's definitely, you can definitely tone it down. Ben and I went after it last week and it was way worse. Hey, well, thanks for joining us. It's been, I mean, this isn't the end today for you guys, but it's been a pleasure having you in our group all these years and being a part of your life. And we will sure miss you guys as well, but excited for what's next for you. So congrats on graduating. So round of applause to you guys. And kudos on getting through the hot sauce. I'll see you guys later. Well, kudos to the ladies for that. I guess when we recorded, I didn't realize how much Anna was suffering, but now watching again, little silent sufferer there, she was having a tough time. Hopefully the pain didn't last too long for you all. That was fun to just hear from you guys and some of your stories, and congratulations to you on graduating. Very cool. Speaking of graduating, I heard some news this week and I just want to give a shout out as congratulations. He probably doesn't want me doing this, but oh well. I heard that Cole is valedictorian of his class, and dude, what an accomplishment. Awesome work. So just proud of you for that. Very cool. Round of applause at home. Everybody clap, clap, clap to them. And good job to the girls there and that. Hey, we're going to continue the theme a little bit. I thought this was fun, sort of to honor the seniors. We're going to do a little trivia game. Oh, excuse me. Called The Year Was 2002. Not 2020, 2002. Why 2002? Because this is the year that our senior and high school graduates were born. 2002 from most of them. There might be a few outliers, but 2002 in general was the year that most of our graduating seniors were born. So we're going to do a little pop trivia quiz here and see how you guys do on this. So yeah, some congratulations to Cole there. So it's just going to be multiple choice questions, kind of pop culture, and just for fun to see what you guys can get right. So first question is, which of these took place in 2002? Kelly Clarkson won the first season of American Idol. The first Harry Potter movie was released. Apple released the iPod, or President Bill Clinton is impeached for perjury. By the way, this made me feel old, so the parents out there are probably going to feel the same way, realizing that the seniors were born around this stuff. All right, which of these took place in 2002? A, B, C, or D? Make your choice. Here comes the answer. The answer is, hold on, not working. The answer is, it's not working. The answer is still not working. What's happening? Oh, there we go. It's a little delayed. I don't know why. Kelly Clarkson won the first season of American Idol in 2002. Hopefully you got that one right. I do see some A's in the comments. All right, second question. What Disney movie was released in 2002? Toy Story 2, Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc., or Lilo and Stitch? What Disney movie was released in 2002? We're going to go through these quick. So make your answer. If you want to write it down, write it down. If you want to just tell your neighbor what you think, that works too. The answer in 3, 2, 1. Lilo and Stitch. In fact, the other ones, man, I don't know. Some of them were before that. All right. What was the album of the year released in 2002? Which one won the album of the year? Bye 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 by NSYNC. I have some funny Bye 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 stories. Come Away With Me from Norah Jones. The Eminem Show by Eminem. Or Walk On by U2. The weird thing is that Eminem and U2 are still making music. Well, I guess, I don't know. U2 sort of. All right, which one do you think won album of the year in 2002? Everybody's saying C. Well, the answer is not C. Norah Jones, if you can believe it. Okay. Sorry, I forgot. This is an all multiple choice. Put these 2002 movies in order by most money made. So we'll do this. Because I kind of worded that wrong. Which one made the most money? Out of these movies in 2002, which one made the most money? Let's do that. Okay? That's your question. A, B, C, or D. Which one made the most money? And this one, those are all great movies. I can't believe it was that long ago that they were made. These are still good movies, even compared to things now. So, which one made the most money? Star Wars, Ice Age, Lord of the Rings, or The Bourne Identity? The answer is Star Wars. By the way, after watching The Bourne Identity in theaters, I had like a bunch of days in a row where I had dreams that I was Jason Bourne and could do all the stuff he could do. And those were pretty awesome dreams, tell you what. All right. All right, second one. Which of these movies came out in 2002 made the most money? Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I feel like I messed this up somehow. Yeah. Oh, that's what I did. I totally forgot how I did this. We're skipping. Here we go. He didn't capitalize Ice Age, thank you. No, Miles, I'm not Jason Bourne. Sadly, I guess. I don't know what happened in my questions there. I totally messed that up transferring it over to this program. Sorry about that. Okay. Which thing did not happen in 2002? The World Cup being held in South Korea and Japan? Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears breaking up? Yes, they were together. NASA's Mars rover lands on Mars? And Yu-Gi-Oh! I forgot how you say that card is launched in the USA. Which one did not happen in 2002? Which means 3 of these things did happen in 2002. The answer, 3, 2, 1, is C. The NASA Mars rover did not happen in 2002. Okay. In 2002, what was the average cost of gas? 112, 136, 191, or 210? What was the average cost of gas? All right, make a choice. By the way, when I started driving, in my town at least, gas was under $1. That's how much it's changed over time. All right, the answer is B, $1.36. All right, just a few more. Who was born in 2002? Finn Wolford, Billie Eilish, Little Pump, I can't see how, man, that was telling of me. Lil Pump or Willow Smith? Can't say Lil. Who was born in 2002? I want to know how many of you actually know who all these people are. You know, Billie Eilish is pretty popular right now, and I guess Willow is too, but does anybody know who A is? All right, the answer is Finn. Somebody got that right in the comments. All right, 2 more. What was the average cost of a movie ticket? Seniors, the year you were born, what was the average cost of a movie ticket? These are all, if you noticed, lower than they are right now. Some of you say, I know Will Smith, yeah. Was it $4.53, $5.81, $6.45, or $7.24? The answer to the cost of the average movie ticket is B, $5.81. Seems to be a delay again. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. There we go. I don't know what's going on. Okay, last one. What movie released in 2002 and won the Academy Award for Best Picture? Traffic, The Pianist, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, or Chicago? I haven't seen 3 of those movies, by the way. I've only seen one of those, and you guys all know which one it is. It might be a surprise, but the answer is D, Chicago, and probably should have been Lord of the Rings. Just saying. All right. That was fun. Seniors, that was when you were born, so I don't know how good you did or not. Nice try, though. Hopefully you guys did well on that quiz. It was fun to see what happened the year you were born, even though it made me feel old. Well, we're going to jump into the lesson. This is a week where there was no good, I just forgot what the word was, transition. There was no good transition. This is crazy. Okay, so the title of this week's message, which was set weeks ago, and is something I thought about months ago. And so it was set already. I didn't change it because of this week. The message title this week is Life in a Hurting World. If you've paid any attention to news, yeah, we're in a hurting world. And there's a lot to say about it. The intention of tonight's lesson wasn't necessarily talk about the current events that have been happening over this weekend. It was more to kind of help you in moments when you're hurting. But one of the things that we're talking about tonight is, in a way, is trying to destigmatize something. And we're trying to kind of stop a culture that stigmatizes certain people's hurts and struggles, or puts down people's hurts and struggles, or I guess the best word is like minimizes other people's hurts and struggles. And so we're going to talk about therapy and counseling and depression and even kind of like suicide a little bit. And I think the tide's been changing, but we're sort of still in a culture that often does minimize those things. And if you are feeling depressed and have anxiety and you want to get help, can be a stigma to that. And you feel like people are going to look down on you because of that. Instead of people being understanding of your struggle, people empathizing with your struggle, people caring about your struggle and wanting to help, there can be this minimizing of it, right? And sometimes in church that happens, where people have maybe different views that might not be theologically correct, and saying it's just a lack of faith, or things like that. And so I want to encourage you in the same idea. I don't want to be silent about what's been going on this past week and over the weekend. I think Christians being silent has been part of the problem. So as I was preparing this lesson that was ahead of time called Life in a Hurting World, it was like, well, I can't call a lesson Life in a Hurting World and not address the hurt that's going on right now. And so we'll talk about that a little bit in the message, but I guess the first thing I would say is we need to stop minimizing other people's pain and hurt and struggle. And if we're talking about current events, that means our brothers and sisters who are people of color and are experiencing different things than those of us like me might be experiencing. And they're at a boiling point with that. And so I just want to encourage you to just as Jesus would, to really care about that, to care about those people and what they're going through, and to not minimize it. And yeah, look, our topic's going to change a little bit, but I felt like just with talking about hurting, that was super relevant. And man, there's a lot I could say on it, and it's hard to figure out what to say, but there's a lot of people hurting right now. And as Christians, we need to make sure that they're being cared for in that hurting, that we're not minimizing that hurting, that we're not brushing that stuff under the rug, and we give legitimacy, I can't say that word, legitimacy to what is happening and what's going on in this world. And I've seen it, and I grew up in a place where people would put Confederate flags in their car and drive around and say nasty things to people just because their skin was darker, and it's still real, and it's terrible, and it needs to stop. I guess that's that for the moment. We have been doing this series called Faith in an Anxious World, and partly because the reality is we are in a world that is anxious, and it was before COVID-19, it was before the events of this past week, and it's even more so now. And you guys are growing up in the midst of that anxiousness. And even without a buildup of that anxiousness, we as humans experience anxiety. We do, some more than others. But because of even that buildup of anxiousness in our culture, it might be even more so for you. So we've been trying to talk about that. And this week, I want to take it a little bit deeper, a little bit further, and discuss really, what do we do when we're hurting? What do we do when we're hurting? And I want to talk about us not hiding that and responding correctly, maybe doing things that are important for us. And so we're going to talk about anxiety and depression and counseling and therapy and all those things. So I encourage you to jump in and be open-minded to this and consider. We're going to start out with another video with some other teens and different people just talking about some of their experience, and I think it's good. So let's check that out, and then we'll get into it.
I think for me, it was realizing that, like, in certain situations that I didn't have the tools to properly combat it. And so when I would get anxious, I would just have to ride it or just, be consumed by it. And that would be really hard.
I was having a hard time just even going to school and making it through the day. And my mom wasn't sure what to do either.
I have really bad flying anxiety, and people will be like, oh, like just take a nap, go to sleep or something. But it's like, I can't do that because I'm so anxious.
Sometimes we experience anxiety that makes it harder to perform our best. Anxiety that is out of proportion to the source of stress we experience leaves us feeling overwhelmed or stuck. When these feelings become more than we can handle on our own, it's okay to seek professional help.
Can I talk about my own experience? So I just did a Google search and looked up therapists near me, or Christian therapists near me, because I wanted a Christian therapist. But then also I contacted a friend whose church had like a directory of resources in the area, and it happened that the Google search was also one of the resources that the church offered. So that's how I found therapy.
A couple of years ago, there was this really big stigma of Black women specifically going to therapy. We were painted as this picture of, no, you are the superhero, you're the strong woman, you don't need this, you don't need this, you can do this. I had a really crazy moment happen, and I'd called my mom, and I was crying my eyes out, and I was like, Mom, I think I need to go to therapy. And she was like, great. Without me even knowing, my mom, early in my childhood, actually went to therapy.
For me, I asked a family friend who was a therapist, who's like connected with the network, and she had a contact, and so I ended up making an appointment with that guy, and I really liked him.
So my very first experience of therapy, I didn't like, because it felt very like, it felt a little stuffy, and I didn't feel comfortable.
I got lucky and I stuck with the first person I was given. I mean, I remember the first couple sessions being like, let's get to know you. Therapy, in a lot of ways, is about giving you tools.
At first, I was very, very nervous. We had like a consultation. I was like, oh my gosh, what do I need to wear? What do I have to say? What questions do I need to bring in? But immediately when I got into the room, I felt like this just weight dropped off of me.
I felt relieved. I felt like I was finally going to be able to understand what I go through and like get the tools necessary to combat it, because I was really beat down by like what I was going through.
I was 17 when I first started seeing a therapist, and it is one of the most life-changing things that could have happened to me at that time. For insight, for healing, for just hope for the future.
Yeah, therapy saved my life. And allowed me to grow, allow me to change, and allow me to accept the things that I had in me that I did not feel like I could have accepted without it. So it truly saved my life. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to get help.
Commit to it and you'll be in a better place than you were however so many days ago, hours ago, weeks ago. Sarah?
I had such a hard time in middle school and in high school. I had so much anxiety, and from going to therapy, it changed my life, and I now live a life I never knew was possible for myself. I'm so grateful for that, and I want everyone to know that that's possible for them. And you're not alone, and you're never alone, and there's always someone that you can talk to. Always, always.
If you have a friend that's in therapy, I would say the best thing you can do is just support them. Don't try to belittle them. Don't say, oh, you don't need this. Like, say like you're doing the right thing, or like, you're doing something that's gonna really help you. That goes a long way.
I had a lot of friends who wanted to, get in there with me, which was great at certain moments of that time. Give them space if they need space.
What works for you might not work for your best friend, even if you're similar in every other way.
If they want to talk about it, be a listening ear. Especially with men in American society, it's really hard to talk about that stuff. And so when you do, it becomes more of a normal conversation. It's good, it destigmatizes it.
All right, guys, I want to jump right into a passage that we're going to read, be our passage for tonight. It's in Luke 8. You can open up there if you want. I'm going to put it up on the screen too. In this passage, we are going to find two people who are in situations that I think sort of feel hopeless to them. And they're in really tough spots, and they are kind of suffering because of those spots. And we get to see how Jesus responds to that, and even how other people respond to that. And we're going to start working through that. So we're going to read Luke 8, 40 through 56, and check out this story. Let's read. Now when Jesus returned, a crowd welcomed him, for they were all expecting him. Then a man named Jairus, a synagogue leader, came and fell at Jesus' feet, pleading with him to come to his house because his only daughter, a girl about 12, was dying. As Jesus was on his way, the crowds almost crushed him. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years, but no one could heal her. She came up behind him and touched the edge of his cloak, and immediately her bleeding stopped. "Who touched me?" Jesus asked. When they all denied it, Peter said, "Master, the people are crowding and pressing against you." But Jesus said, "Someone touched me. I know that power has gone out from me." Then the woman, seeing that she could not go unnoticed, came trembling and fell at his feet. In the presence of all the people, she told why she had touched him, and now she had been instantly healed. Then he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace." While Jesus was still speaking, someone came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue leader. "Your daughter is dead," he said. "Don't bother the teacher anymore." Hearing this, Jesus said to Jairus, "Don't be afraid. Just believe, and she will be healed." When he arrived at the house of Jairus, he did not let anyone go in with him except Peter, John, and James, and the child's father and mother. Meanwhile, all the people were wailing and mourning for her. "Stop wailing," Jesus said. "She is not dead, but asleep." They laughed at him, knowing that she was dead. But he took her by the hand and said, "My child, get up." Her spirit returned, and at once she stood up. Then Jesus told them to give her something to eat. Her parents were astonished, but he ordered them not to tell anyone what had happened. Very fascinating story here. So in this story in Luke 8, we find two people, as I said, sort of in hopeless situations. We have a woman who's been sick for 12 years. She's not been healed. It seems like they don't know why she's sick and bleeding. And we also have this girl who is dying and dies. Both extreme circumstances, both tough, hard circumstances. And interestingly, some things I thought about, this woman seems like she's alone, right? It seems like she's kind of, there's not people helping her get to Jesus. She's just going and trying and struggling through her pain and weakness to get there. She's surrounded by a crowd of strangers. I bet even she, possibly because of customs at the time, might have been outcast in that society and just really kind of low and looked down upon because of her situation and her health. We don't even learn her name, right? We don't even know what her name is. And then the other girl, the young girl who died, she has family around her and is clearly loved and cared for, as we saw from Jairus, but there's still, she's still disconnected from the crowd that's surrounding Jesus, which is an interesting point. That this crowd isn't all saying, "Hey, come save this girl." It's just one guy, but the crowd is still all circling around Jesus. So here's something that's interesting to me. It feels like Jesus is on his way somewhere else, and crowds are surrounding him and wanting to get some time with Jesus and hear him and stuff, and he's trying to get somewhere, and then he's stopped by Jairus. And I imagine in that scenario, him and the disciples. I don't know if you've I watched Iron Man recently, and there was a bunch of scenes in the different ones where he's got his bodyguards around him and there's all the reporters, and he's just trying to push through and get where he wants to go and don't want to answer questions, kind of a thing, right? And so you wonder what that scene was like. Just trying to get to where we want to go. But here's the thing. When Jairus comes and asks for help and shares his pain, Jesus stops in his tracks. Jesus stops in his tracks. And that's an important moment for us to think about. I believe he had somewhere to go, and I believe he was having some trouble getting there, yet he was willing to stop and change his course for this young girl and for Jairus. And then again, after now being on his way somewhere else, so we know he's going to Jairus' house, he stops again for another woman who's hurting and physically sick and desperate. And surrounded by a crowd pushing up against him, he's willing to stop and give her time and attention. But here's the point. Wherever Jesus was going, it wasn't as important to him as these people who were hurting right in front of him. And I think that's a wonderful sort of statement about his character. He's not too busy, even though he's getting mobbed by people, and even though he probably has somewhere he wanted to go, he's not too busy to stop and notice the woman who was bleeding. He's not too busy to stop and go to Jairus' house and heal his daughter. And at the end, he tells them, remember, don't tell anyone about this. So he didn't go to Jairus' house to like make a big statement and to get fame and to show everyone, look at the miracles I can do. It was just between him and the family, and he just cared about that family. So of the many things we can observe in this passage, an important one to recognize: no matter who the person is, no matter how old, how young, how hopeless things seem, and throwing in current things again, no matter their skin color, when we're hurting, we are a priority to Jesus. And I want to encourage you with that, you personally. When you are hurting, you are a priority to Jesus. Now, two sides again to this, right? So current events and how we apply this personally, and they intertwine a little bit. So we'll talk current events real quick. Right now, and what we can see is that for a really long time, but especially at this moment, the Black community and people of color are hurting. And we need to understand something, that Jesus cares deeply about their hurt and what they're going through. And if we don't respond in the same way as Jesus, with heartache for what is happening, including all the events in both sides, other people getting hurt with the cops and with the riots, right? If we don't have heartache for what's happening with that, and we don't have heartache for what's happening with racism in our country, and we don't have deep care for our brothers and sisters, then I just feel like we've missed the point of how Jesus lived. And so Christians, we need to be a voice for change. We need to pray for our brothers and sisters who are experiencing injustice, and seek God and ask how we can be a part of being a positive influence in this. There's more to say, but I'll leave it at that. And so now switched back to a little bit the original intention here. This is the same thing for you too. When you are hurting, you are very important to God. Jesus cares deeply about what's going on with you. So back to our story. We know the woman had been suffering for a long time. And sorry, I lost my spot here. Oh, yeah, we're not given even a name, a place. She's completely anonymous, right? But in the midst of that, Jesus was willing to stop and help. I'm skipping ahead here a little bit. So an interesting point was her hesitancy, right? So she's physically healed the instant she touches Jesus' robe. It's interesting. Jesus could just, all right, he knows some power went out, someone's healed, could just keep going, right? But he wasn't content with that. He didn't want the woman to just sort of walk away alone. At least that's kind of what I think, right? Physical healing isn't going to solve all her problems. It's when she connects with Jesus that she experiences peace. And that's what Jesus says to her, right? In verse 47 through 48, it says, then the woman, seeing that she could not go unnoticed, came trembling and fell at his feet. In the presence of all the people, she told why she touched him and how she had instantly been healed. Then Jesus said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace." Connects with her, calls her daughter, tells her to go in peace. Why did she, it's curious, why did she stay so quiet when Jesus asked, who was that? Why was she nervous about that? Why did she respond that way? I was like, if it was me, right, I would jump for joy. Hey, that was me. I'm healed. What? Like, it was me. It's crazy. How would you have responded in that situation? I wonder if it was you. It's just interesting. And the girl in the story, she has a family, a home, servants. We know her father's name. So this girl seems to have some value in society, but with both of these people having these differences and similarities, the crowd reaction is interesting. And well, not the crowd, maybe more like the disciples' reaction is interesting. So I want to look back. Verse 45 and 49 shows us this. And pull it up here. Verse 45, "Who touched me?" Jesus asked. And when they all denied it, Peter said, "Master, the people are crowding and pressing against you." I feel like he was saying like Jesus, like lots of people touched you. And they're pushing on us. They're in our way. Like, can we just keep going, right? Verse 49, while Jesus was still speaking, someone came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue leader, and says, "Your daughter is dead. Don't bother the teacher anymore." So how were people reacting to the woman and the people from Jairus' house, right? Here's what I noticed and how to relate it to us. Often we miss our cue to stop and see the hurt that people have. We miss our cue to stop and see what's happening around us, to care for the people around us. And I think our world that we're in, our culture, the world around us, this happens often. And even our family and friends can miss opportunities to stop and see us and to see what we're going through, or to stop and see other people. And we miss our times and our opportunities to pay attention to hurting people. We miss opportunities to pay attention to you, even, because sometimes you're hurting. We get distracted by our busyness. We get distracted by what the culture says is important. We sometimes minimize people's hurting. And we don't see how someone near us is truly feeling. So in both the woman's story and the girl's story, Jesus, I think the little piece of this was reminding his disciples, his closest followers, that people are the most important thing here. People are my priority. Both the sick woman and the dead girl's father had to leave their home for help. We're kind of moving to another point here. They had to take a step. They had to go out. They had to find Jesus. The same is true for us sometimes. When you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling depression, you're just feeling hurt, you're feeling sad, you need to reach out for help. And so just as Jesus stopped in his tracks, I want to encourage you to do the same. When you are experiencing hard things or emotional things and tough times, stop and reach out. Ultimately, if this stuff goes unaddressed, if it's not talked about, it turns into unhealthy things. It turns into stronger anxiety. It can turn into depression. And listen, I've done it myself too, not reaching out. So I get it. When we're depressed, we want to be alone. We want to isolate. We want to try to push the things away and act like it doesn't exist. But it becomes a cycle that repeats itself. So think about it. What would happen if when you were having a day of just thinking about hard things and or having some anxiety or just being down on yourself, that you are willing to reach out to somebody and really share about that and talk about it? For some of you, that's probably a scary proposition. It might be even more so for the guys than the girls because of the culture we grow up in. When you feel down, when you feel hopeless, when you feel upset, man, what if you reached out instead and somebody helped you through that? How good would that be for you? Listen, our feelings, they make us feel vulnerable. It's difficult, and sometimes we want to push that away. We want to hide, just be alone. But I'm telling you, it's really important that we open ourselves up and are willing to reach out. And I'm not just talking about like you're in deep depression, right? Because some of you have had a good life and you don't experience that, but you just have some moments and some days where you're feeling down. It doesn't have to be terrible to reach out to somebody. If it has gotten worse, then definitely please reach out. Another point I'd love to encourage you with is just to remember that you don't have to handle this stuff alone. You are not alone in your feelings of anxiety or sadness or depression, because others have been there, and others have gone through it, and others have gotten help, and others have in some ways come out on the other side, and they can help you too. You don't have to be alone. We've talked both these last 2 weeks. Who is your circle, right? Who is in your circle? And so you need to make sure you have family and friends and parents and pastors and youth group leaders and even medical professionals sometimes that are around you. Maybe for some of you, it's just realizing, hey, I do actually have these people around me and I need to use them. People that are ready and willing to listen and help. And I'm that too. Love you guys, so I'm here for you. And listen, this is like one of those things nobody likes to talk about because you want to pretend it doesn't exist. But one last thing, because we're on this topic and it's really important. If you ever feel like hurting yourself, if you ever feel like harming yourself, that is absolutely the moment. Please, please reach out. And maybe you're afraid to talk to a person you know, so take a screenshot with your phone right now of this. Take a picture if it's on your TV, and here's some resources for you. We would love for you to reach out. Your family would love for you to reach out. I would, but if you're ever in this spot, here's a place to go where maybe it's a little bit easier for you to take your first step in asking for help. And call and tell them what's going on, and they can help you. And sometimes we're not concerned just for ourselves, but we're concerned for a friend. It happens, and I walk people through that, and it's hard, but reach out, please. If you're worried about somebody, talk to your parents, talk to someone that can help with that. All right, so as we're wrapping up, one of the things I said is I want to sort of destigmatize this a little bit. I get so much that it's hard to open yourself up and reach out, but I also know it's not anything you should be ashamed of. It's a good thing to actually talk through these things, and this is why people like counselors and therapists are trained, because it's so important and so good. So just to talk about that, to encourage you, I wanted to chat with someone who has been through it and has been in the shoes of what we're talking about, of having depression and wanting help. And so we're gonna go, and I didn't put it on my thing. Hold on. While I need to get this up and going, and then we'll watch it, our conversation. So I brought our wonderful leader, Helena, in. You guys know her and love her. And we just did a quick little interview, and she's gonna share with you some of her experience with this to encourage you. And then we'll be able to finish up our time. All right, I think I got it. Somehow didn't quite make it. Let's see here. Let's say hi to Helena. All right, well, welcome, Helena. Thanks for joining me. We're obviously, it's really bothering me that it's like not full screen, so I gotta fix that. Okay, let's try now. All right, well, welcome, Helena. Thanks for joining me. We're obviously having a tough sort of topic tonight as we're talking about life in a hurting world, which is crazy relevant right now. And we're talking about the importance of, having people in your life, but even sometimes going beyond just friends and maybe a counselor, someone who can really help you with stuff that you're feeling and going through. And you've been open and vocal about sharing, your sort of journey with that and importance of it. So I thought you'd be great to chat with about that. So thanks. So just have some questions for you. The first one, what made you, when you did, decide to reach out and ask for help?
So I actually had a traumatic event happen. I was at my friend's house, and her dad is diabetic and went into like a diabetic shock and almost passed away. And that really affected me. And so because of that, I started to go to counseling early on. And then later on, when I became more depressed and anxious, it kind of helped lead me to know that I could see a counselor, and I had someone to go to.
Cool. Yeah, that's a crazy experience. So how did talking to someone beyond just your friends and family, like for example, your counselor, help you look at your anxiety or depression differently?
It definitely helped me because it kind of showed me that it was not necessarily normal, but I wasn't alone in this, and that a lot of people go through what I was going through, because I felt like I was very isolated. A lot of my friends and family didn't understand what I was going through, but my counselor did. And so that was really helpful to me, to just show that I wasn't like some kind of monster or some kind of, abnormal person, that it was okay.
Yeah. Just kind of realizing like, hey, oh, I'm okay. Like it's okay to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, then how did your faith grow during that time? Or maybe how did you see God work in your life through that?
So I went to a Christian counselor. And even when I was at college, I had someone on campus who kind of counseled me. And I went to a Christian college, and so that the fact that they were Christian as well really helped guide me. They, would use scripture and different verses from the Bible, and their own life experience and how God changed them. And so seeing how God worked in their life kind of helped me see how God worked in my life. He really had me grow during that time, and I could just see my heart changing. I was still, kind of depressed and anxious, but I felt like I wasn't alone in it, and that God was with me. And the fact that they kind of supported that really helped strengthen that idea.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Well, so as we're talking to the teens, what would you say to someone who's hesitant to reach out for help? Maybe because they fear what others might find out, that people might think differently of them, all the reasons we kind of think of and be afraid of that. What would you say to encourage someone to reach out?
Well, it definitely was hard for me when people would like ask where I was going. And afternoons, I'd say I had a doctor's appointment, and they're like, "Why are you going to the doctor so often?" So I was ashamed of it for a while, and it's hard because a lot of people, when you're in high school and in middle school, don't go to counseling. More people do than you realize, but it's not as common as when you're an adult. Like now, if I said I went to counseling, people would be very supportive of it. So it definitely changes, and I think it's definitely just the experience is worth, what people might think. It's going to be hard though. It's definitely hard to do something that's out of your comfort zone and that isn't seen as normal in society. But to just encourage someone to go, it changes your life in a big way, and it's really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, not an easy thing, but yeah, definitely really great. I don't think they would have been like this as teens maybe, but they've grown into it. I have a couple of adult friends who are just like, do you have a therapist? Do you have a therapist? Do you have a therapist? It's great. Everybody should go to therapy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, last one. What word of encouragement or advice would you give to a person who's feeling overwhelmed with anxiety or depression or hurt?
Just know that you're not alone in it. I felt very alone and isolated. I felt like no one understood what I was going through, and that really separated me from my friends, my family, just like the whole outside world. But just know that you're not alone in this. A lot of people go through what you're going through. Not to say that it's any less than what you're going through, but like people understand, and we're here for you. Like your youth leaders are here for you. Your parents are here for you. You can reach out at any point in time. And especially like I understand what it's like to go through this. So just know that you're not alone in it, and know that even though there's really hard times, that there'll be good times too. And it'll be hard, but it won't be all bad.
Yeah, great advice. Well, thanks, Elena. Appreciate you opening up your heart for that and encouraging us. And it's good to see you.
Yeah, it was great to see you too. Hi, fun.
All right, thanks. A big shout out to Helena there for sharing with us. Just really cool of her to open up about that. Listen, I want to remind you, having inner struggles does not mean you lack faith. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means you're human. It just means you're human. But those struggles can lead to greater faith if you turn to God in them. And so the same thing I've said the last 2 weeks, when I challenge you with, in the midst of any inner struggle, look up, look inside, and look around. Look up means to pause in the midst of that struggle and to turn to God, to see God at work, to turn to prayer and scripture and see God's encouragement through the Bible for you. And maybe even talking to others in the faith about that and getting help from that. The second look inside is just start to reflect on where God is at work inside of you. As Helena shared, even through that process of counseling therapy, she was really able to see more of how God was working inside of her, and that increased her faith, which is really cool. And then the last, look around. Take a look around. Determine how to ask for help. Determine where you need to go, what you can do to work through it, to make positive changes. Figure out something to turn to. You know, maybe, listen, I want to thank all of you for sort of like sticking through this message. This is not an easy topic, but I know some of you are feeling like, man, I don't know that I've really felt that way. And that's great. I'm happy for you, seriously. But if that's you, maybe your role is to try and look out for other people, to be an encouragement to others, to see how you can help those who are going through this. And because seriously, a lot of teens are, and a lot of people in our group experience some of this stuff or experience inner struggles, and we need to care for one another and be there for one another. And last, maybe you're also saying, I don't really experience this. Well, we still need the people around us, just as we've talked about tonight. If you want to grow in your faith, if you want to be a disciple of Christ and grow and be more mature, then you're going to need people in that. So this same stuff applies to you. Who's in your circle, right? Who is in your circle? To those having inner struggle, who is in your circle? I need you to ask yourself that, because you have people there and that can help you through it. Maybe you need to add to your circle someone who can really, really help you. Those maybe even not experiencing this, who's in your circle to help you just grow as a Christian and in your faith and in your walk. We need to get more comfortable talking about this stuff, which is part of doing this series, so that we can work through these things, that we can grow through these things, and we can stop minimizing. I just want to encourage you to stop minimizing what other people might be going through and all of the world and stuff we see going on. So thanks for taking part of this conversation. We have 1 week left next week in the series, Faith in an Anxious World. For now, we're going to jump into our small groups. Thanks for joining us. See you over there. speakers were on. I just turned them on. What were you saying?
So you were responding to chats during that message?
No.
Oh, did people text you?
No, why?
Because you made some comment about so-and-so put in the chat the answers to the questions.
Oh, during the like quiz thing, yeah.
So mine was off the entire time. Mine said chat disabled, so I couldn't see any of that.
Oh, yeah. I turned it off during the video before the message. But I had it
Yeah,
on
so
before that.
it was off for me the entire time.
Weird.
I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
Is he like making this up? Because there's no chat. Yeah, so I couldn't see any of that. And I was there, but I was, yeah. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. Computers are still getting on. Is it really Melissa?
Hey, Sean.
Alright.
I have something.
Okay.
On the YouTube description, it said that you would have lip sync, but there weren't any.
Yeah, I don't know why it was there because I totally deleted it, but
Miles, how many eyes cream supposed did you eat? Or did you just throw one and just have breakfast?
I'd never waste a creamsicle.
Yeah, I know. I figured that much. Stop playing Roblox, Josiah. Hey, come promote me and maybe
Then you're not the real Colby.
Isaac, promote me and maybe. Okay, I'm gonna go join you playing your new game.
What up, party peoples? Let's see here. Okay. All right. See most of you later. Steven's group, you're staying with me.
Yeah, I was about to say Steven's not here, so.
I'm in Kimmy's group.
Yes, I'll send you in a minute.
Because Mr. Stephanie is in La La Land.
Ben, I'm glad you're back with us. Hi, Colby.
What is up, my guy? See ya.
Oh no, I was gonna ask Kobe if he's a for real gamer.
Yeah, he is.
Really?
He has all the equipment for live streaming and everything too. Kaylee, do you see like an invitation somewhere to join your group?
He makes millions winning tournaments every month.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Oh, Amanda, hello. Didn't see you.
Oh no, not Amanda. Miss me. Where's Lee?
Oh. It's Lee.
I'm accidentally shot Lee while trying to do.
Wow. Ryan, nice to have your sister join us.
Yeah, I don't know why she's still here.
I told you that you look like Ryan.
Kaylee, can you unmute?
By the way, I'm looking at Ryan's screen. Never mind.
Is there an invitation somewhere on your screen to join your breakout room?
Yeah, Mr. Dan.
You put me in a different room. I'm in Kimmy's.
Oh, yes. Michelle and Helena actually aren't here, so I put all the girls into one room.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
She's got a touch screen.
Let's begin. Hi, Sean. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
Hey, Sean, how are you?
Not bad.
Alright, can you stop making noise?
Yeah, Mom.
Well, then eat them somewhere else. Bro.
Miles, be respectful to your elders.
Alright, I'm gonna move this so it's a little easier for me.
That, Mark. You can come when you're done eating chips.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
right,
so
Sean?
hungry right now.
Sean, watch
Yeah.
this. This is your card, okay? Alright?
Okay.
I can look at it because it's okay. I'm gonna put your card at the top of the deck. Now, can you tap on the deck of cards? You're at your house, so you can tap on it. No. Dang it, it didn't work.
You're gonna pull out of your mouth?
Should I?
That's what the guy did last week.
Card.
Holy that.
6 9.
Hey, there he is.
It's Lee.
No, Lee, I got you, remember? I tagged you for 200 health with the doubloon while we were doing smackdown.
That video.
I thought Lee was dead, Miles.
Yeah. That video was pretty funny, but I decided in light of lots of people getting shot the last few days that I probably shouldn't show it.
Yeah.
360.
I understand it. Like it was quality.
Yeah, it was. It was.
When you sent our small group, right, Miles?
Yeah. Acting.
Did you do that when you were when Andrew wasn't home?
No.
Yeah, that's what we did.
It wasn't part of it, so
Yeah.
No, Andrew was at a drum lesson while I was taking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then we did the creamsicles.
Before that.
Before that, yeah.
Miles, on my names, the list of names in here, you have like a coffee cup next to your name. What's that all about?
Oh, that means I need a break. So it's like I forgot how I did it. Oh yeah, you go to participants and then like yeah, and then at the bottom there's like raise hand, yes, no, go slower, go faster.
Oh.
And there's like a thumbs up, thumbs down, clapping, and then you need a break. And
Huh.
I think I did it today.
Ryan, guess what happened today?
What happened today?
Nice.
Time in 4 months, I got my braces like tightened, and they're not being nice to me.
So you remember your teeth
Ouch.
feel great.
Oh guys, watch, look at this. I got some spacesuits.
Great, Miles.
Nice.
Very cool.
See them in detail.
Imagine if my teeth were actually dirty.
Ryan,
That'd be embarrassing.
they said I have like less than 6 months left.
Oh no!
I'll miss you. I'll miss you, Andrew.
Oh, you still can.
Oh man. Yeah. What do you want your last meal to be?
Probably something Italian.
Really?
Yeah, I love
That one time I ate at your house, when I stayed too long, when we had pork chops and beans, that's pretty good. I'd have that again.
Wait, what was it?
Pork chops and
Pork
beans.
chops and beans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you guys just kept pulling out cookies like out of nowhere. Like I had no idea where you got all those cookies from.
I would go for that right now. I'm so hungry. I have no food here.
I'm hungry, but like I used to have like 7 meals a day because I'm growing or whatever. But now because of these things, like one side of my mouth completely hurts so much every time I like chew. So I haven't eaten anything today.
I'm just gonna start eating cheeses in front of you guys now.
Ah.
Put them on the screen for us.
These are off-brand. These ones are better, right?
They are actually.
I don't know if they're. Oh, yeah, they have a Don Mill. They're kind of off-brand.
Do you just keep that in the room?
Hey, why not?
Of course, you have to have snacks in your room.
Aldi for the win.
Oh my goodness, yes, Aldi's.
I was hungry and I couldn't find anything else, so I just took the box.
I have some proto fries.
You never put it back, I see.
All right, I got it.
All the noisiest vehicles drive by our house.
Yeah.
Sean, did you hear about our basketball game that we had?
I mean, I heard it happened. But that's it.
Yeah, Lee dunked.
Nice.
I also dunked. But Lee
Well,
is more secret.
8-foot rim?
No, it's 10 feet.
Are you at my house?
No, that one was good though. That one was also good. We had an 8-foot rim. But we played at Fairgrounds. It was like 4v4. 4v4.
Shirt skins.
Lee was making money.
Nice.
And
All right, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
And Andrew made like 5 half-court shots.
Nice.
It's insane. He just starts cranking them like it's no one's business.
It is no one's business. Guys, that's all leave Sean left.
Yeah, Sean, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we have to have that bike ride. When are we gonna do that?
Oh, wait, dude, do the reconnecting thing.
And that hurt.
I gotta check to see how Andrew spells it because he's from school, so he doesn't spell it.
Ian, you're still fake Colby?
Yes.
Don't forget the ...
Oh yeah.
Okay, everyone mute now. 3, 2, 1, mute.
No, don't mute. Because then it shows. Just don't say anything.
Miles, unmute.
Oh, no, yeah, if you mute, then it's like, you're actually reconnecting. Like, it's connecting the audio as well.
You have a comma, not a dot. There you go. Here, show up the camera.
Doesn't work. Because this is my mom's computer.
That works. It works.
Lee, Ryan, and Miles have it the best though.
Why are you all reconnecting? What's happening to you all? All right, see you later. Peace out.
How cool is that?
Ian looked a lot like his mom there for a minute.
Yeah, I remember my mom. Yeah.
The resemblance is uncanny.
Big surgery you can do.
Hey, so I don't know if Steven did this with you last week, but one of the small group challenges was to talk with someone like in your family about how they handle stress and conflict and stuff. Did any of you do that?
How do you handle stress and conflict?
Not right now, like have a real conversation.
Yeah, he hasn't been listening.
You asked your brother. That's not gonna help either.
Yeah.
Did anybody do it?
I did
No,
not.
I don't think
I mean, when you think about it, our group is like, I wouldn't say productive, but I would say we're hardworking.
Sean, let's put it this way. Last week was like the first week we didn't get to anything except happies and crappies.
Yeah, we did happy and crappies, and that's about it.
We take those seriously.
Was Steven not here last week too? Or was that a different group?
Last week.
Steven was here, he just didn't.
Oh, it was Pat's group. That was right. Pat wasn't there last week. So I was like, I jumped in and was like, all right, guys, just do happies and crappies, and then we'll do something else.
Why are you stressed? You're like 7. You should not be stressed.
All right, so I only have three questions. Why is it hard to ask for help or to talk to somebody if you are having some inner struggles or feeling down, or even if you may have anxiety or feel depressed? Like, why is that hard to have those conversations? Miles is like, I'm gone, I'm out.
I really have.
I think it's hard to have conversations because people are like nervous about what other people will think of them.
Yeah.
They don't want to be the ones that are like left out of groups and picked last. And
yeah.
Andrew was not picked last in basketball either.
Hi.
Rosie. What up? ¿Cómo estás?
Rosie's muted.
You're muted.
We'll get rid of her before she unmutes. Ha. There we go. We're like in the main room, so this might happen a few times.
She was talking the whole time.
Yeah. we just sent her away. Do you? So all right. So somebody else. Why is it hard to like open up and talk about that stuff?
I mean, I agree with Andrew. Pretty much just the same thing.
Do you think it's harder for guys?
Yeah, but I also think that guys may have it less. That's probably what makes it harder, because if you do have it, then it's like even more of a what do people think about me? Like I'm not manly or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I don't know if they really do. I might know like more guys who like see therapists than girls, and maybe it's skewed because I do counseling with guys a little bit. No, I don't really do it with girls. I send them to a girl usually. Here we go. Here comes another one. Who is it this time? We will never know who it really is. Whoever you are, I just sent you to your room. There we go. Oh, stop. I don't know if it's really less, but I do think like for like there's something in kind of like culture and stuff where they like tell girls it's okay to like have the emotions and express it, and they tell guys not to. And I definitely disagree with that, but you see it a lot like in movies or the way your friends act, or even sometimes adults, you know, you'll have a grandpa or an uncle who like toughen up, you know, men don't cry. I don't know, but and it adds to that like, oh, I can't talk about that then if I do feel like that, and I think that's not good for us. Actually, I've watched some documentaries that talk about it, and it's definitely not good. So, all right, what did you guys? So, what did you learn anything, or is there anything you sort of took out of what Helena said when I brought her in to discuss?
I only heard like the beginning and end of it.
No. Wow.
I listened to the part where she went to the like when she said that she was going to the doctors constantly to her friends, a little bit before that, and I think I left when she said, like, right after, like, the diabetic father experience.
Alright, well, somebody else then?
To say, like, I haven't really felt any of the things she felt, so I wouldn't really know what she was, like, feeling at the time.
Yeah.
But, like, it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of relate to, like, the doctor, like, saying she's going to the doctor thing, because I would, because, you know, I'm dyslexic, so I'd go to and be like, yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. So I just be like, yeah, I have to go see ya.
Yeah.
Say where I'm going or anything.
Yeah.
I kind of forget about that for you. That you had to do all that. That's definitely a relatable thing.
I mean, you're dyslexic. Yeah.
That was kind of ironic, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough thing. Did you ever get to a point where you felt more comfortable talking about it, Lee?
Yeah. You did pretty good just now.
Is it depend on the group of people? Like you?
Yeah.
With these guys, you're comfortable, but with others, maybe not. Yeah.
John, you know, I got yelled at McDonald's.
Oh.
That's a really funny story.
Hold up.
It wasn't really that funny because nothing happened.
It was not a funny story. It's a story, though.
Yeah.
He was there. He knows the story.
Hey, Andrew. Is your dad not getting on tonight?
I thought he did, but I don't know. I can go ask him.
Okay.
I'll go ask him.
All right.
When are you gonna do hot ones with me?
Maybe. I don't know.
Me and Lee and Ryan and Ian and Andrew.
I think I'll have to go hotter next year if we do it again, or if we do it another time. It needs to be hotter.
Sure.
For sure. Have you guys ever seen any of the episodes of the Hot Ones?
Yeah.
A couple, yeah.
See a bunch of them.
We'll have to get like
Shaq one.
the bomb and stuff like that.
I love the Shaq one.
I've only picked my favorite. Didn't like DJ Khaled, like he just ate like the first one. He was like, "Oh, that's what I said." DJ Khaled out.
Andrew, what do you say?
He said he tried, but he couldn't get in. Like he tried on his iPad and his phone.
Oh boy. He needs to text me next time. The boys are running loose.
Go figure. I mean, even with the leader, they're kind of like that though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely do not give enough props to Mr. McKay.
And Mr. Baker.
And Mr. Baker. Is Mr. Baker still around?
I think so. We did Sunday school.
I think I saw him like once in like well, he used to do all of my like
basketball games. He'd ref them.
Yeah, he was my ref. I remember one time, he like after the game he came. He was like, "Hey, I'll see you on Sunday." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, I go to your church. He's like, oh, okay. And then on Sunday, he came to the show. It's like, hey, remember me? I'm like, oh, you're right.
You're right.
I was kind of freaked out. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? Why does he know me?
Then we have Pop-Tarts. There you go.
The last question I had, we sort of already covered a little bit, but yeah, you really, maybe all of you guys have not really experienced some of the stuff we talked about tonight, but if you do, or like if you currently do, or if you do at some point, I just really want to encourage you to reach out. You can talk to Steven, me, your parents. I do think it's important to not let internal struggles like that to keep going. We gotta not just stuff it down. It builds up and comes back, and so it's important to not continue sort of that narrative of guys not talking about their feelings. So yeah. You got how be honest, be completely honest. How would you feel about joining the middle school boys and doing like a Jackbox game?
I'd be fine with it.
I thought you were gonna ask like another a deep personal question. That's a tough one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
Kind of toxic.
I feel like it's gonna be worse if there's no one with them.
That's kind of why I'm asking.
Then, like, if all of us would join, I think it'd be better.
Get the seniors to do it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do. We'll do one game. If it's not going great, like they're just super nuts, I'll say, okay, like we're done for the night, and like get them to go, and you guys stay and wait till they're gone, and then we'll do more.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do the double back on them. It's gonna be cool.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, I'm gonna send you guys to the group, and then I'll come join you.
3.5.
Deal. So 3.
4, 5, 9.
The rounds.
I like how y'all thought you could just,
No, I said I was the winner.
get away with like chilling on your own without a leader.
Yeah. What the heck, guys? Oh, you're so
Man, oh man.
Sorry, whoever this is.
I'm gonna hire some more grandmas.
What is this?
Cookie clicker, you're kind of slow.
Cookie clicker.
This is me hiring grandmas to do my army. We're doing my bidding.
All right.
Where?
Hey, whoever's doing this, close it up and I'll do
Where's
it.
inspect?
Wait, Sean, let
Stop yelling.
Or Scott or Fortnite, that's your
Check
name.
this out. Okay,
Ready?
right click. Oh, I know. I don't think you can inspect on a Mac.
Oh, what? I know the hack. It's a game set cookies infinity.
That's game dot.
Game dot cookies infinity. With the capital G.
Grandma, level 47.
Isaac, stop screen sharing.
Never.
Stop yelling.
Yeah, stop, because we're gonna do
Yeah. Close it up.
Cracker Jacks.
After I hire one more grandma.
Isaac, talk normal.
Grandma. Level
What?
48.
Okay, Isaac, figure out how to turn your microphone down. That's crazy. You're so loud.
160. Okay, here we go. Everyone, pick a number between. No!
Get roasted.
It's lagging.
I don't remember being a squealer like this when I was in
It's not in the screen.
6th grade.
I'm in 7th.
I remember doing
Guys, I'm
commentary.
staring at.
Don, do you remember that?
So delayed.
All right.
Oh.
Quiplash or Drawful?
Whiplash! Whiplash!
Whiplash.
No, I'm joking.
Idiots, unless you've got idiots.
Yes, idiots!
I've actually never played that one. I don't think.
Oh my goodness, idiots is the best.
Nah, just do Whiplash. Like the ice on there.
Idiots.
Fine, idiot.
Although there's playing a Jackbox game.
Yeah. No, hit the button. Hit the button. Do you have hit the button?
No.
What?
Do you have Jackbox 44 Pack 6?
I sneeze. What do you say?
Bill Swift in Fortnite.
That's my name, Travis Scott in Fortnite. Miles. Miles.
No.
I'm gonna go get.
No. The charger is not charging since it's not plugged in. So low. Terrible manners.
Stop. Alice.